Swami Vivekananda ki Jai.
This is, I think, the first time that we have met for a program of Vedanta Society of Connecticut in this hall on Saturday.
Yes. Yes.
And that too, it happened because of some miscommunication or misunderstanding that Hillel authority, they did not remember that the hall was already booked for tomorrow for some other program, and they just allocated it to us. And later on said, well, sorry, it was already booked, but if you can arrange it on Saturday, August 15th instead of 16th. So we said, okay, that is possible. And they were not always eager to give us the hall on Saturdays because Saturday is the Jewish Sabbath day, and so they say they don't want to give the hall to anyone at that time. So very few people comparatively are here today. It is probably the communication didn't reach or whatever reason. So, but we have lesser crowds for our some monthly programs. So it is as one Swami said long back, it is quality that is more important than quantity. So it is. So let us make it qualitatively a great annual retreat. Mm. And uh, because as you see, the topics we discuss here are always related to Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is uh, what is discussed here right from, I remember the days when I used to go to the Middletown temple to conduct the Bhagavad Gita class, which gradually developed into the formation of Vedanta Society of Connecticut. So that was about 23 years ago. So, and more or less the monthly meetings went on happening every month like that. And then last time, I think, how many years? 6 years. We are coming here to the Hillel house, a very nice place, and our thanks to the Hillel for letting us use this space. So, with this intro, let's begin our prayers as is our custom. First prayer to Lord Krishna and then to Bhagavad Gita. So please join in reciting if you know the verse. Vande Mukshidharam Krishnam Smayamana Pitamparadharam Neelam Malyachandanabhushitam Radha-chitta-chaturya Saundarya Sumahodadhi Parat Parataram Devam Brahmananda Kripamidhi ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिने अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी. The topic for this annual retreat is God in human form. And the word Bhagavad Gita actually means the song of God. Gita means that which has been sung. So Gita is the song, and Gita is the that verbal form. Gita means sung by whom? Bhagavad, Bhagwan, God. God has uh, recited this, sung this song. So, and that is actually here we see a human being and God together. Sri Krishna is not telling this Bhagavad Gita like some sound in the skies and all that. Not telling some spirit in the dream, but like a human being. He is having this discussion with Arjuna on the battlefield. So he was a human being, and at the same time, he was God too. God in human form. They everywhere we see the religion that is practiced by human beings is connected or based on this God incarnate. Like in Christianity, although they do not have this idea, many of them do not have this idea, they consider God that Jesus to be a son of God. That is true. It is mentioned he is son of God. But he is also the God appearing in human form. That also has been described there. So, because the meaning of son is also to be taken in that sense that it is the son of human being. What is it, Charlie? Son of human being?
A bastard laws, human being.
What?
Sorry.
Ah, so it is human being. You do not see some cat being born from human being, not some other creature. Human beings give birth to human beings. So whom God will give birth to? God. So Son of God is just to show the identity with God. It is shown. And yet that is on our plane, so it is human being. Mm, acts like human being. And this is why the source of Bhagavad Gita is to be seen, that it is told by God, to whom a person who is deluded and confused, looking for a way out of this, very scorching situation of life. It is we caught in a mess of all worldly things and suffering because of that. It's our description, isn't it? Yeah. No, Rashmi. It is our description that getting caught in this net of the world and looking for a way to happiness, lasting real happiness, and therefore we are benefited by this. Just like Arjuna, Arjuna was a human being. Arjuna was having this tremendous problem of getting into that confusion and caught in this net of the world. So he was terribly confused. So he asked Krishna, but uh, Krishna was for him a human being too. Krishna was almost same age as Arjuna. It is they were related also, and they so they played together from childhood, grew up together, and so for Arjuna, Krishna was not just a teacher, but he became teacher later on, as we see from Bhagavad Gita. That till then his idea of Krishna was like uh, his friend, like an equal, I never thought of seeking an advice from Krishna except on a worldly plane. So worldly plane means we seek advice from friends also, and not considering the friends to be divine. Just seeking an advice. What's your opinion? Ah, I am suffering from migraine for a long time. What do you have any suggestion? Of course, when you tell people about that any of your disease, everybody gives you advice. It is whether you ask for that or whether they are eligible to give advice. No, everybody becomes a doctor and gives you advice. It is no, this is you should take, that is you should take, that is that you must have, try this, and so all this. So it is a general advice we seek from people. But in this fourth chapter, we see that Sri Krishna reveals that he is not a mere human being. In the beginning of the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we see Arjuna understands that his problems are very complicated and only a divine intervention, divine advice can redeem him. Not a human intervention, but a divine intervention is necessary. Because one gives advice according to one's understanding, and there is a level of human understanding. And so, in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we read that Arjuna commits that I am your disciple. Shishyaste ham, I am your disciple. Before that, now Sri Krishna and Arjuna, they grew up and played together for many decades. It is the calculation is that at the time of Mahabharata war, Krishna and Arjuna both were about 70 years old. 70. So, not 17, 70. So it is. So this is the first time that Arjuna tells Krishna that I don't know what to do, even if I am fighting for the ostensibly for the purpose of getting back our kingdom. But even if I get that kingdom, not only that, even if we get the kingdom of whole earth or all the three worlds, still this अवाप्य भूमौ असपत्नम वृद्धौ राज्यम सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम. The words are very telling, very powerful words that even if I get all this, the kingdom of the gods and the whole kingdom of the land without any competition, that it is mentioned there that avapya bhumo asapatnam riddhav, that no competitor, no fight involved, and still what, even if I get all this, my this suffering will not go away. I can see that you can imagine if I get my kingdom, what will happen? No, my suffering will still continue. So I want you, Shishyasteham Shadimam Tham Prapannam. It is, he says that how is this shoka, this suffering, Shoshanam Indriyana, that all my senses are being, as it were, deprived of the power. All the power is being sucked away from my senses. Did you ever have some experience like that? Any of you? That when you get a big psychological jolt some certain things that you never expected, some say loss of some near and dear in the family, or similar something that it is, then you feel such a jolt, and then all your senses as if they are all there, but they lose power as it were. The source is cut off. So, like the electric power is switched off, then all these appliances will be there, and the fan that is running will be there, but it will not run. The lights will be there, fixtures, but they will not shine anymore. So that is what happens to our faculties, that they their power as it were is all gone. You feel lost. You have eyes but cannot see properly. You have ears but you are not able to hear. So that becomes the case. And so he is requesting Krishna now that you are my teacher. I am thy disciple. Shishyasteham. I am your disciple. And so, Shadhimam Tvam Prapannam. I am Tvam Prapannam means I am taking refuge in you. I am surrendering to you. And Shadhimam, please lift me out of this. This is not give me some information, but lift me out of this. This is a big difference between an intellectual advice that will not be able to lift us out of this terrible mire that we get caught in it. But the Guru can catch us and take us out. It is that, so he appeals to Krishna that I am your disciple. Now, have this mercy on me and take me out of this terrible situation that I am caught in. So, with this, that still Arjuna is thinking of Sri Krishna not as God, but as somebody superior, a very wise person, a very capable person of a much higher level than he himself is. So that is how you pray for advice, that give me some proper, I am not capable of handling this, nor anybody at my level are capable of handling it. You therefore I take refuge in, you now redeem me from this situation. So the advice has been given. Now, both second chapter and third chapter we see, and in fourth chapter also that is there, that the advice of doing the work. Don't give up the work. Don't give up the duties that you are supposed to do. And giving up the duties is not the way at all, because that comes naturally to a human being to give up the duty. We feel that all the sufferings that I am having is because of this entanglement of these my worldly duties with so many complications. My relations are there, my other uh, drags, the duties due to drag are there. So many things that I am caught up in. And so we feel that if I give up this job, I will be free. It is not the case. You may give up the job, but that doesn't make you free at all. So, because that was not the reason for you were suffering. You were that thinking like that, that was completely a misunderstanding. That you would not become free of the suffering, even though the war is not being fought. The war was just a temporary instigation, but even in the absence of that, you would have faced these problems, and the solution lies elsewhere. It is war is not the cause of the suffering, and therefore no war is not going to be the solution either. So this is for us to understand that this, as we feel that if I get out of this situation, the problem will be solved. It is uh, like somebody was trying to get out from that house, that neighborhood, thinking that that is the source of problem. And then, so after some efforts, they found some other place to live in. But the problems were not in this situation, the problems were in the mind. So the same mind gets taken to the new situation, new location, and the problems start there also. So the solution, therefore, is at a different level, not like an ordinary human being can propose. So Sri Krishna instilled the knowledge and the way to experience this knowledge. A human being telling another human being will not have the same effect as the God telling the disciple, the one who has accepted the discipleship. So God now communicates, and therefore there is the ring of authority. And the science of yoga has been told that yoga is that practice and you will get it. It is something that you cannot get just by intellectual gymnastic, but by practice of the teachings. Do the work. It is very important to see the work as the instrument of our liberation. Work is not the cause of bondage. It becomes cause of bondage if we handle it in a wrong manner. Then it becomes cause of bondage. But if not, if handled correctly, it becomes cause of our liberation. It is everything has like the very common example given in these matters that fire is a great friend. Without fire, human beings would not survive. We will not be able to cook our food. We will not be able to keep ourselves warm in winter. So fire is very necessary. But if mishandled, then it can cause tremendous havoc. Similarly, work. Now, work has the great potential, and the potential is to release us from this terrible bondage. Can we appreciate this? That work is has therefore work is necessary. It is, of course, that without work we will not be able to get our livelihood and so forth. That is one aspect of uh, work only. More important and more pervasive aspect is work is needed by us as we need food. Hmm. Can we survive without food? No. What? No, isn't it? Nobody will survive without food. So, food is necessary. Uh, and then for food we go to get to work, but not that just for food. Even if suppose somebody brings food to us, uh, it is still the work is necessary. There is a story I had told earlier also that there was a mendicant used to sit just near the king's palace, and the king would send food and other supplies to him. But the many courtiers were jealous of him that why this fellow is not doing any work, just sitting like that. Why the king is giving food to that person? And they kind of registered a protest. The king asked a question that, well, does it cost you anything? It is. Does it cost you anything? Why are you worried about it if I am giving uh, that I am not taking money from in your pocket to give to that fellow? So why are you worried? Not only that, if you sit like that, do nothing, just sit, do nothing. I will give you also. Can you sit? Can you sit? Ah, that's a big question, you know. What is it? Ah, if you are told, okay, you will be given your food, don't do any work, don't move from the place, just sit there. Can you do like that? Very difficult, you know. Work is as necessary as food. Therefore, Krishna told there that it is that nahi kachchit kshanamapi jato tishthatya karmakrit. Not even a moment can be uh, spent without doing the work. Uh, it is easy to say that somebody is not doing any work. Many times it is we Swamis are told, are said in society, uh, they are the freeloaders in the society. They don't do any work. So why should they be given any subsistence? Okay, don't give. It is, if you don't give, what does it matter? It is, if God gives, that's it, you know. It is, you will see God, if God wants, God will give. If you don't want to give, that is a different thing. Still, God can give. And even uh, if you want to give, this is a very peculiar situation one can see. If you want to give, but God does not want to give, your giving will have no meaning at all. The person will not get it. Can you imagine? Yeah, it is. What can you give? It is. The situations are very difficult. Uh, like somebody who was not, on the lying on the bed was not able to eat anything in a very precarious different situation. So was not able to swallow food. Now, even if the best food in the world is brought there, will not be able to eat. So it is up to God, you know. You may bring many things, but that will not be of much use if God is not willing there. to give you. So it is all that work is so important. You work, and that is the medicine. Do not shy away from work. Don't you never think the work as a problem. No, work is the solution and not problem. Huh? What work is what? Solution. Huh? Work is the solution and not a problem. What Kavita, do you understand? Work is what? Solution. Correct. Huh?
Yeah, I get home and then I did think of God at work.
But you work, isn't it? Yeah. Had you not have any work, then you would have become more a big problem. It is. Therefore, somebody waiting there. Uh, so this is the uh, teaching that has been going on from second chapter, and it will continue to up to sixth chapter, the teaching of Karma Yoga. In between, to tell Arjuna that these teachings are coming directly from the divine source and not human source. Ah, Sri Krishna begins the fourth chapter that says that the same yoga I had told earlier also. Imam vivasvate yogam proktavanam avyayam vivasvan manave praha manurikshvakave braveet. Interesting to note that in the beginning of the fourth chapter, Arjuna is not exactly asking any question. And so, but Sri Krishna on his own begins this discourse that this yoga that I have been telling you, it is not the first time that I am telling. I had told it long ago to Vivaswan that it is a very old time mythological periods like the period of Ikshvaku and Rama and so forth. So Vivaswan was it is depicted as the sun god. So Vivaswan therefore was described as the originator of what is called Sun dynasty. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there are the description of the Sun dynasty and the Moon dynasty, uh, Surya Vamshi and Soma Vamshi. So Surya Vamshi, greats among Surya Vamshis were like Ikshvaku, Vivaswan, Ikshvaku, and Rama. Rama is the Dilip, Rama, all they are Surya Vamshis. And Lord Krishna is Chandravamshi, Somavamshi. So, and now Arjuna tells, I had told this long back to Vivaswan, and from Vivaswan it came down as a tradition to uh, Manu, from Manu, that Ikshvaku, and so forth. So when it flew in tradition for some time, uh, but then Sakale Neha Mahata Yogo Nashta Parantapa. It is in the course of time, Kalena Mahata, that is the time, time, everything deteriorates in time. Whatever, therefore, we keep on singing the glory of the past old days, good old days, because the things deteriorate, it is taken for granted. It is as it happens to food, keep the freshly cooked food nice to eat now, but let it be like that there for 1 week, and then not only it cannot be eaten, you cannot even go close to it. So it is. So that is how the dharmo nashta parantapa, this yoga got destroyed in the course of time. Uh, that Shankaracharya has described a reason for that. Nushtatruna kamodbhavat, that the weakness creeps in human beings. When a discipline is given by the Guru, if I follow the discipline, that will certainly take me on the path of liberation. But I get attacked by weakness. The Guru has told, no doubt, but I can tweak it a bit here and there according to my convenience. So what happens then? And it goes on, and there is no end to the level, that corruption level, how corrupt it can become. Everything then, becomes, driven by my sensual desires. I put a level of dharma on it, and I feel a pat on my back that I am following the dharma and leading a sensually, uh, life of enjoyment. So there is no yoga there, only yoga is there. So this is how the matters they take a wrong turn, and it is expected. That is how the course of time is like that. That time consumes things. It is, and therefore we see this that happening in the course of time. The disciplines get slackened, the determinations they start wavering. It is that I had told you that interesting story that I had heard long, long ago, but very nice story. I had told it many times. It is that how a man could sell the diaries at much less a price that a shop prepared manufactured diaries with all nice these things, uh, very nice looking, and thought that this much price would be good for it. I will have my profit and I will be able to sell all of this. So other person, other shop right across was selling exactly similar looking diaries for much less price. So naturally, our Samir Bhai would go to that shop and buy the cheap one. Both same, why the cost is so much here. Everybody does like that. You see, you shop around and find where the things are less pricey. So, and this man could not even believe that how they, even my production cost was not so much, not more than that. How could I afford to sell? So he asked that shopkeeper, went there and asked him, how are you able to sell it so at such cheap price? He said, it is psychology. I have studied human psychology. In the beginning of the year, they determined that they would write the journal, write the diary, maintain it. But then the resolve gets slackened. So, therefore, what I did was keep three that 31 pages for the month of January and 28 pages for the month of February. From March, I started reducing the number of pages because the enthusiasm and determination, what happens to it, gradually starts losing the strength. And then, therefore, the teachings of God also, they were given, but gradually, sakale neha mata yogo nashta parantapa, Lord tells, because of this time factor, things got deteriorated. And therefore, I am telling that to you to today again. Uh, why? Because you are my friend and devotee. Bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hi etad uttamam. That why I am telling it to you? Because you are my devotee and friend also. So that is the reason that God is going to reveal the secret again. It is secret. Secret means not that it is kept back. Certain secrets are like that, that you don't want others to know that, so you hold it back. It is cheating that because if that fellow knows that what I am doing, either he will also do it, that fellow will also do it, or will report to the authorities, so that I will find it then myself in difficulty. So you keep it secret. Huh? Intellectual, yeah, you can put it as a law, intellectual property, that it is secret. But this secret is not like that. The secret is you do not see the benefits of practicing it, and therefore you don't, even though you know, you do not go for it. It is the value as such, it is not that it costs millions of dollars. It is you get it for no price at all, but you do not see the value of it, and therefore it is not available to you. Secret from that sense. It is all there for us to see. There is a great lecture by Vivekananda. The title is Open Secret. Open Secret. Have you read it, Ashutosh? I read that lecture. Very beautiful lecture. Very important. This is all open secret. It is all God. Where is the God? Eh? Where is the God? That is the open secret. No. Where is the proof of God? Can anybody show me the God? Where is God? This is open secret that this is God. Whatever you see is God. Right in front of you is God. You don't have to go anywhere. This is all God. Like that example, very beautiful example, that you are seeing the movie in a theater, and then you ask, where is the screen? I am not able to see the screen. Well, you are seeing nothing but screen. That is the reality there. All the pictures you see there, what they are just pictures. They are deceptions. You go and try to, you can see that there are nice fruits being displayed on the screen. Can you have any of those fruits? If you try to take it, you will touch the screen because that is the reality. And you may see big fires there on the screen. Go to put it down by suppose this Swami has water glass and she sprinkles that water on the fire on the screen. What will happen? The screen will get wet, that's all. So it is like that because that screen alone is the reality there. And do we not see it? We are sitting right in front of it. And yet we do not see it exactly like that. It is all God alone that we are seeing. And yet we don't see it. That is why it is called open secret. Hmm. This is a very important thing to see here. Why God is calling Rahasyam hi etad uttamam. This is the greatest secret. Because we are not even seeing it. That is why the secret. Most obvious things that other story also is told about this, that a man was suspected of smuggling things. And so the officers got lot of the inputs that this fellow is smuggling. Uh, and every time, therefore, on the border, they checked his car thoroughly, stopped and checked the car thoroughly, and nothing was found uh, every time, and they let him go. For years, this went on, and uh, then it was revealed by him to the officer, who then by that time had retired. And when they met in a coffee shop, he said to the officer, "Oh, you fool, I was not smuggling anything in the car. I was smuggling the car." So that was therefore not seen at all. Rahasyam hi etad uttamam. This is the great secret. So, this secret is revealed now by Krishna. Now, here Arjuna gets the question. Wait a minute, he tells Krishna, enough, you wait a minute. I have a doubt. What doubt? The Vivaswan was born eons ago, and you and I are, having the same more or less age. How is it possible that you were telling Vivaswan? Probably, uh, what happened to you? Your brain is not functioning correctly. He is indicating that to Krishna. That how can you? It is, can you say that it is, oh, Jitendra, he will not be able to say that I gave this advice to my great great grandfather. Ah, how can you give that advice to him? You were not even born then. Because our understanding about ourselves is so limited by this time frame that I was, yeah, in many times my parents would be discussing something, and then I would ask them what I was doing then. I don't know. Oh, you were yet to be born then. So how would you know? So you naturally you won't know anything. So this is how Arjuna is telling Krishna, you are born recently, and then that was long ago. How is it possible? Hmm. Now Krishna reveals this secret that look, what you see as yourself is only an infinitely small part of you. It is bahuni me vyatitani janmani tava cha Arjuna aham tvam vedya sarvani natvam vedya parantapa. That look, here the hint of Godhood, that I and you both, not only I, but it tells to Arjuna, you also, I and you both have uh, so many births we have lived. There were past so many births that we had. You do not know them. I know all of them. It is in Rochester retreat this time. A very nice devotee was asking me a question that, oh, you speak about this incarnation, but I understand that it is whatever past sanskaras are there, accordingly one has to get a new birth and all. I understand those arguments and correct. But my question is, then why do I not remember any of those births? Hmm. Quite a valid question, isn't it? That why do I not remember all those things that I did in my past birth? The answer is nowadays the answer can be given more easily because people know a lot about computers and how they work and how the memories in the computer this gets uh, compressed. You can compress them at various levels of compression so that they do not bother you. So they are there, but they do not create any botheration for you. So it is you, Arjuna, you cannot remember all that because you have been programmed just like that. That it is no more past memories will come to you directly. Its effect will come to you, but not the memory of those things. But I remember all of them. Aham Tvam Vedya Sarvani. I know them all. Natvam Vedya Parantapa. You do not know, Arjuna, any of this. Many births we both have gone through. It is, but for you, the memory of it is not there. And it is good in a way, even the memory of this birth. So many memories. Our little brain is not able to handle even that many. Create lot of confusion. What Teresa will happen if you start suddenly remembering that last birth I was like this, then what it big confusion it will be. So it is like that. Last birth, I used to go to a psychologist, and that psychologist messed my life up completely. So that is why she. You were a man. Yeah. Yeah. So it is. So those memories will become so difficult to handle. Therefore, Krishna says, look, I come again and again. My knowledge is never covered. All is there. And I come in various forms. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. A verse that is so often quoted, million times, million people, million places, and this verse has been quoted. And very important that why do I come? When do I come? Why do I come? The need, it is that whenever there is the decline of a virtuous life and uprising of the life of vice, then I come to restore the order. It is they and for protect those who are uh, good people and to punish those, to contain those who are not good people. So, paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam and dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. That therefore to contain the evil people, to uh, stop this decline of uh, religion in a way, that is what is dharma word is used. But dharma word has far more span of validity than the English word religion. It is so. Therefore, this is how the religion is to be protected, and its protection ensures from God Himself. The religion proceeds from God. It is and so contained, preserved, and propagated by God. So, in the past it was given, but why human beings they are easily, their minds are corruptible. The desires are there, and so if of my desire is against the teachings of my guru, then what I do? Ah, my guru told me something, agreed, but my desires are like that. Then I keep the guru's teachings in abeyance. That it is that, oh Guru, I will pay to attention to you later. Right now, I have got these desires, I have to fulfill them. And then we give very nice names to those too. These are my other responsibilities. My I have secular responsibilities, I have spiritual responsibilities. So, for my spiritual responsibilities, I will pay attention to you. But for my secular responsibilities, I will have to keep you away. You do not know anything about those. So, and therefore, naturally, the dharma gets into decline when almost everybody in this society is doing that. Now, it is never that all people are of that type. Even in the most corrupt society, there would be always a few who uphold the truth. But still, because overwhelming number is going into the adharma path. So adharma means confusion. Adharma is the confusion of the values. It is this division itself is a confusion. That two values, secular and spiritual. And this demarcation itself is a terribly wrong thing. That therefore we become too clever and say that yes, I am religious in the field of religion and I am secular in the field of secularity. No problem. No, the problem is there is no such division. You make this division. So, uh, this is thus the decline happens, decline of values. Everything is okay. So it is long back, sitting in the library of our mutt in Nagpur. I was librarian there, so there was a discussion ensued about the new rules of this uh, grammar. They were being then ushered in, that how the word should be spelled, and so forth in Marathi language. So you should write like this. All the old conventions were became overhauled. And the reason for that, this will make the language simpler. Lesser the restrictions, the better will be the flow of language and so forth. So, whether this should be correct or that should be correct, nobody needs to uh, do any checking on that. One gentleman remarked, so the sum and substance of all these rules is whatever you write is to be considered as correct. So because it is so loose, all the restrictions were removed. So therefore, whatever you write is correct. So in religion, it becomes like that. That I don't have to regulate my life because regulating my life means restricting it. I am habituated to do certain things and feel that I will continue to do that. Yeah, I should get some guidance, no doubt spiritual guidance, so that I will have some spiritual side also taken care of. But I will keep it restricted only to spiritual things and secular, my worldly things, I will go according to my wishes. No, whole life is one thing. The dharma principle enters everywhere. It is a pervasive principle because the same mind is secular as well as spiritual. You do not have really different mindsets that okay, this is my religious and this is my secular. No, it is therefore such division itself is wrong. So Sri Krishna tells Arjuna, uh, therefore uh, this idea of God coming again and again, and how that coming is told is because of the change in situations. The situation undergoes changes, and therefore the God also has to take form according to the new situation. It is not that they, just as I see the clothing styles of people, uh, does it remain constant over the ages? No, it is. I don't think our Teresa's grandmother would have been wearing the same style of clothes that she wears now. It undergoes the changes. It is everywhere you see that the society keeps on changing. You cannot stop that change. It will be wrong even to think that let me stop that change. It will continue like that. But that doesn't therefore mean that you cannot instill the spiritual values in that time. They, according to the time, requirements of the time, the God reincarnates again in the human form. And here one question may come, why God needs to have a human form? It is obviously the human weakness. We can connect. Learning requires connecting. It is like when I go to India, I take and the adapter sockets to fit in the Indian those plug points because the American plugs are different. They will not fit into the sockets there. So it will be therefore I will not be able to get use of it. So and therefore I will have to get the proper things. So to fit in the newer situations, the God has to incarnate in the newer form. So, like Sri Ramakrishna's times, if we see, then that Sri Ramakrishna, God incarnates. Why? There is certainly the tremendous spread of education and science, scientific education. And there are very good sides of it that should not be, condemned. That is, yeah, people are asking questions better than, simply blindly believing without really believing. So it is much better that people are scientific minded, means they ask the reasons for that. So much better than not asking for reasons. But the earlier these religious teachings of old times, they were you believe, you accept and believe, do the rituals, and thus uh, the religion does not therefore remain any implementable religion. It becomes a matter of belief, not matter of inquiry and understanding and implementing, but just believing, nothing further. So that belief really doesn't make much change in anybody's life. So this is very important, that not believe in that sense, but you inquire, study, understand, and accept and implement. That is what the science means. That you go study, understand, ask questions about it, and then as you understand, you try to implement. Science demands verification, implementation, application. All that is demanded by science. And so the new religious movement or new incarnation has to go on those lines. Moreover, the truths that were preached earlier, the truths were very nicely presented, realized, but still uh, they remain confined into a geographical region and were told only in the context of that. Now, you see, everything is so globally uh, mm, done with, dealt with. Everything, here, sometimes I find our lectures are being here, happening here, being viewed somewhere in India, sometimes some other countries also. So it is, the message becomes globally available. Mm. The movement of the people is also so, everywhere so fast. One of my friends takes, uh, he is a well-known economist. So he takes the flight from Mumbai, and then sometimes around midnight, and then the flight arrives in London. So very, very early morning. He finishes his breakfast, etc., and then his meeting there is finished. By afternoon, he takes another flight in the afternoon. He is there in New York for the supper time. So does not miss breakfast, lunch, or supper while going from Mumbai to New York. and manages all those. The meeting is managed in London and in New York also. So it is that is how the now the world has become so small. Mhm. It's a nice song in the world that in the Disneyland. It's a small world after all. It's a small world now. So the message that should be given should be applicable in that context to the whole world. It is not now a sectarian message cannot be given now. It has to have the applicability. It has to have the scope for scientific questioning. People should be able to ask questions and then get the satisfying answers, and then implementation in life. All these three things are so important. In the absence of those, now the teachings, great teachings, but they will not find the adherence. The people will not be able to cling to them anymore. So, therefore, the new incarnation of God, therefore, has to add up to all these. Hmm. See, we see the differences in, say, Buddha, Jesus. So much difference is there because the situation at the time of Buddha, where Buddha was living, was different than where Jesus was living. So, it is the teachings therefore remain limited there. So now the teaching, one must understand that there is no flaw in the principle. The problem comes only in application, where now the incarnation has to come to our level, has to become a human from our standpoint and explain things to us in that way. In my school days, the primary school days, I don't know if any Tripathi might have that experience that taking a slate, in the school. There used to be a really heavy slate and a white chalk pencil, and then you write on that. It is, and now nobody uses such things. It is the teachers now they have all electronic these writing pads, and they write on the electronic pads, and then whatever they write automatically gets transferred to the pads of the children or computers of the children. So the teaching changes according to the days. So we will see how uh, Krishna gives this idea of God, assuming this human form. It is that it is. He says, "Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vitti tatvatah tvakyatva deham punarjanma naiti mameti surjuna." So that Tyaktva, this my works appear like as if the works of a human being, but Divya means they are very beautiful word. Divyam has so many beautiful connotations associated with it that it is they it is appears like the human being, but not with human ignorance. The difference is there that the God's birth appears to be a human birth, Not exactly though. It is in all incarnations you will see there is a story which many modern skeptics want to discard, that of immaculate birth. The birth without having any uh, sexual intercourse, that birth. It is, and everywhere, in case of all of them, this has been described, like Rama's birth, for example, Krishna's birth, this birth of Buddha or Jesus, all they have been of Sri Ram, Krishna, they have been described as immaculate, without physical contact, without physical any contamination entering there. And but people become skeptic about it, that science does not agree with it. This is a very weird argument presented there, that science does not agree with it, as if science are all scientists agreeing amongst themselves. No, they have their conflicts. Science today tells one thing, tomorrow another thing. That is why it is called an empirical science. Science is what? Empirical. We agree, yes, yes, science is empirical. But what this means is the truths that they preach, they change. What science was telling 50 years ago, it does not say that anymore now. It is very different. So it is uh, like one medicine that was considered the best without any much side effects and all that. I mentioned to the doctor, this was good for me. Shall I take? No, no, no. It has too many side effects. Now it is not even available. It is banned now. So at one time it was proclaimed to be a great solution, and of course somebody told me it always dependent on what gives more money to the pharmaceuticals, that it is, uh, unless they have to denounce that medicine, that it is bad, it has these many side effects. And not true, but were the side effects not there earlier? They were there, but they were covered up. They were not announced. And later on, when people suffered, and by the time they discovered the new medication, then they start denouncing this one. So it is not that the new science developments, they are there, but what they say, what was earlier was not true. Now what we are telling is true. But that is how it, after some time, what you are considering true now is going to meet the same fate. In all sciences, even in many what are called exact sciences, this problem is there. Isn't it, Ashutosh, in your physics also? Because he is doing PhD in physics, so it is. Ah, there also you have the same problems. It is an considered exact science, but no, it is not exact. So it is empirical things, and therefore, if only because science does not accept immaculate birth, is no reason that it should not exist. After all, the facts are more important. If your science cannot accommodate the facts, what should change? Should you discard the facts and uphold the theory? No, it always should be discard the theory and get a new theory that accommodates this fact too. So, this is something that had been recorded about fall, that it is Janma. Therefore, he says in this verse, Janma, my birth is special, special in many ways. Firstly, we saw it is not that common people, they have birth through physical contact, and more than that, they have all the past karma according which they have to take the birth. Hmm. They are not free there. That even if there is a things that I will have birth like this, like this, like this. No, not necessarily that you will have birth like that. So it is dependent on your karma. In the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, there is a beautiful description of this, that how human beings they take birth in one way. It is, and God's birth is therefore not of that type. It is therefore called Divya. Janma cha Divya, Karma cha Divya. And my works are also therefore are completely dedicated to the upliftment of humanity. So it is like that. So Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha. The one who understands this, then Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. One who knows in true light my divine birth and action after leaving the body is not born again. Hmm. And he or she attains to me, O Arjuna, just by knowing it. How, when you know the, how God is very different from us and yet like us. When one knows it, Tattvata means in principle, in its substance, in true light, it is translated here in true light, knows, then uh, the person does not attain birth, because then you become knowing truly means you get identified with God there, that I am divine. I am like God. The distance between you and God have vanished there, and therefore you do not have to take birth again. And Sri Ramakrishna had mentioned that those who know who they are and who I am, for them this will be their last birth. Who come to me, this will be their last birth. So that is how these ideas are being discussed here. So, any questions? Yes, Deepak?
I have a few questions. Number one is, as you pointed out,
Yeah,
that when leakages and distortion take place in society, God appears in the form.
yeah.
So my question is, as we see from Kaputpally, what is Indian society, but was having going through a lot of transformations and going on, effect of science, as you said, technology, and in terms of the tradition, plus all of the practices of the society. So my question is, these day and age, so much of stuff is going on. In fact, forget about what the geopolitical stuff. Even religions are fighting with each other, kind of stuff going on. A lot of things going on in the society. What is happening? What's happening to God? He should come in and resolve this issue. I done it, right?
That is happening. God is resolving all this. God has appeared as Sri Ramakrishna, and you see, therefore, lot of changes have come in. Like now, openly when no religious congregation denounces other religion. It is only very few are there who do that. At one time, it was so widespread, and not too long ago. It is that the job of each religion, main job was to denounce the other religion. Now the things have changed a lot. Then can you imagine that the situation that how uh, in the Bible Belt there are now all cities have Hindu temples. How could that have happened? It is, and they are doing very well. So this is all that the job of incarnation. That yes, there will be always the society is a flow. The bad things will always be there. Otherwise, the good things will not have much scope either. It will be as it is, the police will have no work. So it is, and many things that there will be a big domino effect of all that. So it is much better than what it used to be. It is now what happens is when we look at the past from our lens here, we take out all the bad things then and therefore say that old good days. But that is not really the case. It is now many things have changed in society. People are in all religions, they are asking questions that how, why, when. So many people, therefore, they are turning to other religions. They study, not that they are denouncing their own faiths, but they are studying other religious faiths and enriching their knowledge, and that is true. So, God incarnates, yes, and God's incarnation is working to keep the order in the world.
The second question is pointed out what is about ignorance, right? God is aware of is what he is, what she is, whatever. Human beings are not, but that's what the Bible says. My question is, speaking of how, when he was born, why did he have to go through all this austerity and everything as practices? We can understand who he was. So my question, what time did he realize that in his life that he was the real God? At what point in his life did he understand that he was actually indeed?
The answer to this question is that Thakur knew it always, but he therefore says that all the actions showing, pointing to his body are for the others as a show, a demonstration, so that others will understand. It is Sarvagatananji, my predecessor in Providence, used to tell one joke. One child was asked by parents, so, hey, are you doing at school now? How is your school? And the child said, our teachers don't know anything. They ask us. Now the teacher asks questions to check the knowledge of the student, but the student is thinking that therefore they don't know, therefore they are asking us. So it is now this why the student, the teacher is asking question, not because the teacher is ignorant. So all those actions that Sri Ramakrishna is doing is to demonstrate that how we should approach it. That demonstration makes people understand told that Jnaneshwari, Jnaneshwar Maharaj says very beautifully that uh, for the good of the little child, to make the little child learn that the teacher also holds the that pencil and slate to show how to write, and says that, hey, see, this is how you write and this is how you write ka and all that. Now the teacher doesn't have to do it for his or her own sake, but for the benefit of the child, the teacher also holds the slate and writes. I remember I was not so good at looking and learning to write. So the teacher would actually hold my hand, and then see, this is how to write. And then would say to encourage, oh, you are doing good, although I wasn't doing anything. The teacher was holding the hand, but that gradually you learn from that. So that is what Thakur did all that sadhana to show. And because he was perfect, he did sadhana also perfectly. No human being will be able to do like that. Therefore, he would say, I did 16 annas, so that you will at least do one anna. Anna is, the whole rupee was divided into 16 parts. Each was called one anna. So that is why do at least 116. That is how that was. Any other question? Anybody has any question? Yes, first let AJ ask.
Can you say more on work as medicine?
Work
Work as medicine.
as a
Medicine. Medicine.
work as medicine. Yeah, work is a great medicine, and because when you work, firstly, so many hidden qualities in you, they get manifestation, they get expression. Second thing is that it is something that keeps the mind steady and does not make you go insane. One of the big problems, one of our Swamis, he sought transfer from that sector. Now that Swami is doing very well in a different place, he sought transfer from the headquarters, saying that the place that you sent me, everything is available there as such, no living problem, but there is no work at all. I will become insane if I live there. I will get Alzheimer's. He used that word, I will get Alzheimer's. Because there is no work there to do. Everything is being taken care of, and he confessed that I am not a person who can just sit in meditation for all, say, 15, 20 hours a day. I need work. I need work. Otherwise, the mind goes haywire. Therefore, work is very necessary to keep ourselves at least sane. It is a medicine to keep. I have seen many when they are given work, their uh, mental functions they become much improved. Another incident I would like to tell. It is a very telling incident that this happened in a very big government office in Nagpur. And there, as it happens in government jobs, people come, do something, is not always, they are not always punctual, and spend lot of time doing nonsensical things. Uh, So a new head came there, and he decided to make people work. Uh, he called a meeting of everybody. That place, those days, I don't know now, employed about 2,000 employees. So, huge hall, everybody was brought in, and he told that, see, you are all human beings, I am a human being, and I understand that too much strictness is not good. So, if it is permissible, if you are required to come to work at 9 o'clock, and if there is no public thing associated with you, if you come at 9 instead of 9, I understand you come at 9:15. I won't mind that. Moreover, I understand that after every 2 hours of work, you may require some short break and have a cup of tea and something. I understand that also, and uh, like that he told. But at least out of this 8 hours that you are supposed to work, I feel that at least 4 hours you should work. Uh, at least 4 hours you should work. Is this asking this? Is it unreasonable? And one employee rose and said, "We agree fully. Not only 4 hours, we are ready to work all 8 hours. Is there work? Where is the work? There is no work at all to do. It is all very 10 minutes work finishes, that we somehow drag it to 1 hour. Really, it is a 10-minute job. Why give us work? And then we will stay working for 8 hours. We have no problem. But give us work. This is something really happened. And then that gets no work. First, I will have to dig out the work. It is things become so problematic that because there is no work, there was one efficiency expert story, very nice telling story that he decided to, that he was employed as an efficiency expert to check if everybody is required for work or not, and see how more efficiency can be assured in. So it is a long time back story. So he goes with a register, every employee's name was written there, and he goes to one desk. Okay, good morning. What do you do, sir? I don't do a thing. Then goes to the next desk. What do you do, sir, here? I don't do a thing. And then the efficiency expert writes there, duplication. Why two people are required to do nothing? So instead of writing this, they don't do anything. Duplication is happening there. So it is like that. Work is so necessary to keep all our faculties organized. It is, and if we work is a solution only for that. It is a medicine that done properly. It organizes our mind. It also makes our mind see the truth, because that is the only difficulty. One of our senior Swami used to say that it is like cleaning the surface. Work is like cleaning the surface of the lake so that the bottom gets seen. And there is bottom, but because of a lot of this, what is it called? That green thing accumulates on water? Algae. So that algae is covering it. So that now when it is clean, then the bottom of the lake gets seen. So there is God in the bottom of our mind, but it is all covered with the algae of ignorance. And so if we work, then what happens is that algae gets cleared. And then we see, oh, I am divine, I am God. And thus we become illumined through work. So karma yoga is like that. It is work. If not done properly, and then it further escalates the bondage, makes the bondage more torturous. If done properly, that very work, not different works, that very work will lead to illumination. Otherwise, every work has immense problems. No end to it. But just recounting them does not make them good. In fact, one keeps on then building resentments about the co-workers, about the other people that you have to work with, the whole structure, like our Teresa, if she cannot find a particular person to blame for her, this system has to be changed. The whole thing is what? This system is to be blamed for this. Now, who makes the system now? That is another question. So, means you cannot find a solution. Basically, you can't find a solution then. So, it is important, therefore, to see that we work, pay attention to the work. The situation automatically seems to change then. It will change for the better. That is why work is a great medicine. It is, in fact, there is no other medicine, let me tell you. There is no other medicine. So one has to work. And well, I'm telling from my experience, I have seen literally thousands of lives changed positively by working. If no work, their lives were all terrible. It is not that they lacked money. There was money, but there was no work. And all empty mind, whose workshop? Devil's workshop. So that fellow had become like that. So, but work, and then things therefore underwent change, positive change. Yes, Rupak, you have a question?
It is very similar to that. So, what is a solution or it is a means?
It's a what?
It means it is a means to reach a goal, or it is a solution itself.
If both are same thing, it is solution and means. Means suppose the two words here are similar. That it is the means to solve the problem. Means it is a solution, isn't it? Yeah, it is a solution that you work and then the situation will get improved. No work, then the situation will get worsened. It is a lesson hard learned. It is, we feel when there is work, we feel, oh, let me find. This is a contradiction in human nature, in everything. And we want to get out of the work so that it will be all the problems will be solved. It is no, that the incident I tell many times about that woman who wanted to go to Kashi because at home so many problems at work, problems at home, so much. Hey, let me get rid of all this work. Uh, I will go to Kashi, and then there will be peace. No peace in Kashi. Same thing. Sri Ramakrishna told that incident that that man went to Kashi, saying that ran away actually from home, that quarreling with wife and children and all that, all and as if renouncing everything. This is not renunciation. It is denunciation. So two things are different, you know. It is denunciation. We are very experts at, you know. Renunciation is different. So he goes to Kashi, and then after some time, the family gets a letter. Oh, I have come to Kashi, and I have found a job here. I have rented a place also to stay. Soon I will make arrangements to bring you all here in Kashi. So it is like that. Work. It is you have to do the work carefully. It is many are like that. If because they keep on complaining about the work, they cannot remain happy in any place at any work. Always some difficulties will be there. So therefore, work is the means and the solution. Means one difference in that is that means you have to apply correctly. That is not exactly the connoted by the word solution. It is means you if you apply wrongly, it becomes a problem. That is again another thing that an example I would like to give. Uh, that we had a well from which the pump was for pumping the water, and one day the pump was running, but the water was not getting pulled up. So we called a mechanic to look into it, and the mechanic saw, corrected the problems in half a minute. And I said, what had happened? He said, well, the connection was reversely done, positive and negative. It sometimes changes when some other problem happens. So, therefore, the motor was running, but in the opposite direction, it was not pulling the water up. So, it was spending the energy, but not doing the work. So, it is our working has to be done properly. Firstly, it is important to have work. That is why in the second chapter that Lord Krishna tells, Mate sapustu akarmani, do not get attached to not working. Ah, we not only work makes you addicts to work, but one gets addict to not working. So do not become an addict to not working. That is very serious problem when one becomes addict to not working. Yeah, and then it takes long time for that person to understand and start working. And it is So work is means it is to be applied correctly. But yes, the means has to be there.
What do you mean by correctly?
If your that connection is reversed, then correctly means you say suppose to go to a place, you need say you use a car to go there. But if you drive the car in opposite direction, still the fuel is used, but you don't go anywhere. So that is how the difference happens. It used to be, it must be done correctly in the sense it is means. Use it rightly. Yeah. Any other question? Okay then. We will have lunch and then we will have some music and then have a second session. Yeah. So chant as grace. ब्रह्मार्पणम् ब्रह्महविर् ब्रह्माग्नौ ब्रह्मणाहुतम् ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्तव्यम् ब्रह्मकर्म समाधिना हरि ओम् तत्सत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. O Lord, please accept our offerings, bless us, make us pure and all-loving. May we not accuse, demand or complain, but love, respect and cooperate with all. May we not find faults with others, but try to find our own faults. May we not treat others as strangers, but learn to make all our own. May we feel the whole world to be our own. Please, please, please feel.
What time we will next? What time we will start?
What is time now?
12:45.
12:45. So, 1:45? 1 hour? 1:45 we will meet. 1:45 and then we will have some music first. And then afterwards we will have the second class.